wait for it to actually show up in my public view. Hello, subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome to the start of my first Imperator Rome Let's Play, where we are going to be playing as Athens. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and mention, this is going to be a traditional recorded series. I'm only live streaming this first part because I wanted it to be 2 hours long as a sort of series premiere. And I figured I have much easier time just live streaming this for 2 hours than I would attempting to record this and render it, because while it only takes about 2 hours to record, it would easily take me at least 8 hours to render the video, considering that a approximately 30-minute long video tends to take me about an hour and a half or so. So yes. Now, I did a poll a while back, I think back when they originally announced the release date for Imperator. I started up a poll asking who I should play as. Your choices were Rome, Carthage, Macedon, and Athens. I'll wait for the loading screen to finish before I actually continue talking. So, I got 15 votes, 9 of which were for Athens, 3 for Macedon, and 3 for Carthage. Nobody voted for Rome. I can't say I blame them, if I'm being completely honest. I did originally contemplate potentially switching to somebody else for this first Let's Play, because I was having problems playing as Athens. However, reading on the forums and other places, I seem to have come up with a plan, or a strategy that seems to work. However, it is a strategy that does result in these first number of parts until we manage to gain our independence being generally uneventful and unexciting. There's really nothing I can do about that. That's just the way this is going to be. As Athens, you start out as a feudatory under Phrygia, and as a feudatory you can do basically nothing diplomatically until you gain your independence. We won't gain our independence until Phrygia decides to do a proto-Ming explosion and proceed to break up into a bunch of smaller parts that will fight one another, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to gain our independence then. Playing as Athens, you start out as a local power, which does affect who you can have alliances with. Granted, as a feudatory, we're not even allowed to plan alliances for when we do declare our independence. Slightly annoying in my opinion, but that's just the way the game works. You are a republic, we are Hellenic, and our culture is Athenian, which is a part of the Hellenistic group, obviously. We start out with Fericles, I think I pronounced that right, as our Archon of Athens. We start with 4 cities, 2 up here and 2 down here, with a total of 44 pops. Let's go ahead and begin. We're going to play on normal. Not going to play Iron Man because I hate playing on Iron Man for Let's Plays. I don't even generally play it when playing on my own, but nonetheless. Let's go ahead and begin playing as Athens. So, Alexander the Great. In Babylon 18 years ago, the Agrid king Alexander died suddenly at the age of 32. In the 5 years preceding his death, his continuing military success had reshaped the world as known to the Greeks. His empire stretched uninterrupted from Egypt to the Indus. The shock of Alexander's early death and his lack of a chosen successor sent shockwaves through the hierarchy of satraps and generals who attended him, splintering his empire into elements ruled by these potentates, I assume I mispronounced that, styled as the Diadochi. For many years, they and their successors have been locked in a bitter struggle over the future of the empire, drawing all nations within their sphere of influence into the conflict. The wars of the Diadochi will surely continue. Perhaps it is up to Athens to decide how they will end. The die is cast. Now, granted, as Athens, we are not really a part of this beyond the fact that we are a feudatory of Phrygia. We don't actually give a crap about Alexander the Great's empire in the slightest. I do want to note that, as with all Paradox games pretty much going forward, I'm going to be setting some general goals for the series, and once we accomplish those goals, the series ends. Obviously, our first goal is to gain our independence. The second goal would be to form the Hellenistic League. After that, I don't actually know. I don't want to end it with just forming the Hellenistic League. I feel as though that's probably a little quick, all things considered. So I have thought about potentially take over all of Anatolia, but honestly, I don't know for a final goal for ending the series, because we're not going to be doing a world conquest. That's just not going to happen. I've reached the point where those really aren't that interesting anymore for Paradox games. Now, let's see. There's stuff I want to buy. Now, in the early game, commerce is not actually your most valuable, or is not going to bring in the most of your income. So, something like incense and silk don't really benefit us a whole lot. I'm thinking gemstones for the plus 20% to tax. Although papyrus could be useful, considering our strategy will revolve around just trying to gain as much. Yeah. Well, I don't know how long we'll have this, considering Phrygia will probably be going to war with Egypt relatively quickly, but if we can get at least a couple of months of the plus 20% research, it might be worth it. And quick look through our... where's my... I do need to get used to the UI here, admittedly. Who's our best? Okay, you guys are just crap at this, all things considered. Do we... you're a 6. You know what? I'm gonna swap some positions around. I want the military faction to be the guy in charge of Senate responsibilities. Basically our chief magistrate, because then they get a bonus to military faction support. It's not a whole lot, but it's something. And hopefully it'll help to minimize the strength of, or the growth of the populist faction. I do also gotta get used to the fact that I'm needing to play this at 1080p rather than my usual 1440p, which is resulting in a much smaller UI than what I'm used to. Tech speed could be useful, but I think I'm going to go for the Omen power, considering the first Omen we're going to be calling in is the Blessing of Athena for the research. You guys need a general. Let's see. Let's see about putting somebody who's from a scorned family in charge, and is also preferably still relatively loyal. So, let's see. You are fairly loyal, and you are part of a scorned family. So, I'm going to go ahead and place you in charge of that. You're okay at only 5 martial, but it's something. You do also have a disloyal character, this being the leader of the military faction. You are the leader of the military faction, right? I'm pretty sure you were. Yes. I'll be honest, I'm gonna say I will go ahead and just bribe you. I don't know how long you'll be alive for, but just to get out of the way early. And how much does it cost? 276 for that. That ain't gonna happen anytime soon. Actually pull this back up, make sure you all are the best people for the job. You are. So yes, our strategy will generally be just trying to advance our tech while waiting for Phrygia to explode. And then once they explode, we'll use that as our opportunity to gain our independence. That is going to be a ways out, however. Also, I still have the issue of these bars, and a lot of other bars in fact on the UI, they glitch out as if there is an issue with my graphics card or the drivers for them. But this is the only game that has that problem. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not an issue with my card, it's for whatever reason an issue with the game. Now, as per usual, Phrygia's other feudatories tend to roughly halve their military. I don't know why, they always just scrap like half their military. Well, at least Megara does. I assume most of them also do that, though. But Megara is the only one I can actually see. Now, as I said, these first couple of parts are generally going to be unexciting because there's really nothing I can do about it. Because there's no way we're going to be able to successfully fight Phrygia. Let's just go for a general tech speed for this first one. Also, kind of forgot about this. Let's pull up our thing. So you are military. So let's go for morale of armies. Try and get this bonus. This could be useful, or at least helpful. Civic ideas. I'm thinking national slave output. And I never really have a good plan for this one, because there's really no good oratory ideas at the start. They're all kind of crappy. But I'm inclined to go for military administration just for the monthly loyalty. Especially since this guy is not super loyal, although he is gaining it, even without that. Luckily, he is losing popularity, so that's not too bad. Also, I should probably actually look through here and try and find somebody who I would like to potentially, eventually, take the reins. I would love somebody with a high finesse skill, because that's the main thing I'm looking for, because it lets me get my techs faster. But we don't seem to have a lot of people with a lot of finesse. And unlike Crusader Kings, I can't just pull up a find characters menu and try and invite random people to my court. Or just pay to spawn random, non-existent people into my court. So, I'm very limited. Also, you need something, but I am lacking the finesse for that. Excuse me, civic power. But finesse gives you civic power. So, as it stands right now, the leader of the military faction is currently expected to be the next Archon. However, he is absolute crap when it comes to martial, so that's kind of annoying. Means we're going to be having to rely on our base and our ideas match, our government, to get our military power, which we'll be using to gain our traditions. And Pherocles gains Merciful, or well, he will, which is a little bit extra charisma, not bad, and local freeman happiness. And well, because he's my ruler, it's actually national freeman happiness. Also, we are apparently at war with Halicarnassus. Never actually seen Phrygia go to war with Halicarnassus at the start. They've always gone to war with Egypt at the start, or Thrace. Those have been the two that I've generally seen Phrygia go to war with first, so it's a little interesting that you're going to war with this little guy first. But you do you. I'm just going to stay over here with my 6k army and just wait for you to break apart. Although I will, of course, build up my military more when we have the money. Also, let me pull up my economy. I generally found actually going down to free trade and getting that extra import route is more useful than taxing at normal trade level. Has been my experience, at least. You're already fairly loyal, so I'm gonna take the extra national tax income. I should note, of course, because this is set back in the classical era, I will probably never pronounce anybody's names correctly, so I will generally be referring to people as that guy and that person. So, just a warning, I cannot pronounce any of these names, generally speaking. So, this guy and a fine display of financial acumen has made significant alterations to the national budget. We should expect to see better revenue this year. I can give him 100 money, which I don't know why I would ever do that unless he was very disloyal and I happen to have the money. So we're going to go with excellent for the additional national tax income. That'll help us out a little bit. However, I don't believe the game actually recalculates that until after the month is over, or at least it doesn't update it up here. This does appear to have updated, though. Megara is building up its military again because they see they're in a war, so obviously they say, I need to build up my military. Now, Phrygia doesn't seem to have a whole lot of ships at their disposal. It's only 16 now. Granted, I can't afford to field a fleet of 20 ships, so it's still more than I can ever field. Especially since I'm not trading for wood, which is necessary if you want to be able to have anything. Now, I don't think you bring in a whole lot of research points. No, you really don't. But it's still something, so it might be worth it. Yeah, you know what? Get cheap papyrus as well. And we're just sort of going to try and save up for civil power. Now, I only have, I think it's somewhere in the range of like 20 hours or so in Imperator. I have not had as much time as I would like to try and learn the game more. So don't expect to be seeing somebody who's particularly good at this game. Oh, thank you very much for dealing with my little pirate problem, Phrygia. That's helpful. Also, I need to check this every so often, because new people do come of age, and the game does not tell you this. So you generally have to figure it out yourself. Now, you seem to have somehow magically gained some extra charisma, because I'm pretty sure you were at 6 when I originally put you in that position. That's not a bad thing, though. Let's go ahead and add an extra bit of heavy infantry to our army. And no, Phrygia is continuing to just go and kill a bunch of pirates for me. Oh, now Macedon's getting in on the action. I don't know if they dealt with the pirates or not. Nope. Those pirates will not die. They have literally zero morale. But Macedon is failing miserably to stack wipe them. They keep just destroying a single ship every so often. There you go. Now you finally stack wipe them. It only took Phrygia coming in to do it. I'm going to go and kick the game up to 4 speed since, like I said, there's really not much we can do. And we seem to be in a dry spell of events. Interestingly enough. Now, I could send troops over here if I really cared to. There's no reason for me to. Phrygia has this, and honestly, if for some reason Phrygia lost to Halicarnassus, I would be happy. So, no reason for me to get involved. If Phrygia wants to suffer... Why do you need military access through my territory? Are you just asking for the hell of it, or is there an actual reason? You want to get to Thrace. You already have military access through Megara, so... Oh, you don't even need Thrace, never mind. Who am I thinking of? I don't know why you want to walk through my territory. You have literally no reason to have to walk through my territory. None of the people you're at war with, I'm blocking you from getting to. So I'm just going to say no. There's really no reason for me to say yes. Granted, there's not much reason to say no either. So I'm just going to say no, because there's no reason to say yes. So our character has had a son. I don't really have many character interaction options, considering that I am playing as a republic, and they don't get as many character interaction options as a monarchy and presumably tribes as well. Interesting. So that loses stability for me. 2 stability, decreases my popularity. He gains a bunch of loyalty, prominence, and popularity, and improves the military faction's support. I assume because he's a part of the military faction. Now, actually, bring up the economy. So that just decreases the slaves needed for a surplus. We're nowhere near getting a surplus on any resource at the end of the day. So it may not be a terrible idea to just say screw it and go for that. Let's get the military tech investment. And since I'm in here, just take a quick glance, make sure there's nobody better for those positions. There still isn't. Now, Macedon is expanding. I'm sorry. So, Phrygia is guaranteeing the independence of Boeotia, or however it's pronounced. But I assume because Phrygia is currently still in that war with Halicarnassus. I'm having a hard time saying this. Even though I said it, I'm pretty sure perfectly fine before. Now I'm having a hard time saying it. Halicarnassus. They're still in that war, and so I guess for whatever reason they're not going to go and protect the person whom they're guaranteeing the independence of. Great job, Phrygia. It's nice to know you're trustworthy. So Macedon's going to be expanding right next door to us, which is not fun. I don't want Macedon expanding, because that makes my life harder. Just like having Phrygia be successful makes my life harder. Now, the question is, I have 2 people I can send. I don't think their stats results in or has any real effect on how good they are, or how likely they are to succeed. I could be wrong about that. But I've sent people that are great, and they failed, even against people with much worse stats. So it's basically just a question of who do you want to send that you don't care about, because I don't think they come back. So you're 41, you're a researcher, you're my oratory researcher. My oratory researcher. Or I can get rid of this other guy who is from the civic faction. He is, I believe, the son of the military faction guy. Or at least some relation there. Damn it, where is it? Government. You're not his son, but you are a part of his family. I'm just, you know what, let's just send Hector. I don't really care, and I don't want to get rid of my good researcher. Lately we have seen a growing number of people following the Taich, I assume that's how it's pronounced, seeking the fortune of the gods. A priest and his small group of followers have arrived in Oropus, looking for a new home for their cult. They promise good fortune and that our people will be well taken care of if they are given some sizable funds and help in getting started. So give them a little bit of money. An Athenian, free man, appears in Oropus and sets the religion of a Hebrew citizen to Oropos. or in or opposed to Hellenic for 2 Hebrew citizens. I do lose religious power and a little bit of money. Sure, we'll help Titan, her followers, or the help of Titan, her followers is appreciated. So Oropos gains a freeman, and some people convert to Hellenic from Hebrew, which is not terrible. Because that increases their happiness and makes them more effective. We do have a Hebrew citizen here who is somewhat affecting our production here of research. We're going to go ahead and spend some oratory. Just make that better. And do some more conversions. I need as much, or as many research points as I can get. That's all of them that we can get. Olympics concluded. The Great Olympic Games have come to an end with much rejoicing and celebration. The highlight of this year's games was during the prestigious chariot race, the Sonorous. Demophanes of Heraya. None of you guys. I assume that's your country. Nope. Saved a fellow competitor from almost certain death when his chariot was overturned in the dusty mayhem of the race. Overall, the victor was declared to be this guy. Kepesomphon, or however it's pronounced. Again, I am not going to be able to pronounce any of these names correctly more often than not. First time winner of the Olympics. Good for him. We gain a little bit of popularity because we did at least send somebody. Also, oh, there we go, okay. I was about to say, why is it taking so long to end that war? Also, I do need to continue to periodically check Phrygia. Need to make sure my relations do not get above 190. Because if they do, then I'm not going to be able to... Or then Phrygia is going to attempt to integrate me. Which is not something I want. Now, see, if it was possible for me to get Macedon to back me when I declare war against Phrygia, that would be great. But that can't happen. Macedon's a regional power. We are just a local power. Local powers are not allowed to have alliances with anybody who is above or below them. Who are you at war with that you need to walk through my land? Still nobody. So, still no. You people need to stop asking. I don't know what your deal is. Okay, so we have another 9 finesse guy, which might be worth looking into. I'm replacing you. I need somebody who has a lot of omen power. And do I want national freeman or health? Obviously, I'm going to go for national freeman. That's more useful. That's manpower and taxes. Well, more so actually, no, it's just manpower. You don't actually tax them. You tax slaves and you get commerce from citizens. You only get manpower from freemen. Apparently, freemen are exempt from taxes, it would seem. Okay, Messania has decided that because I said no to their request for military access, they're going to send me 8 gold and 34. Basically, 8 and 1/3 of a piece of gold. In exchange for just improved opinions, and somehow they think that's going to make me more willing to accept their offers in the future. Now, you might... No, you still don't, actually, so no. I don't know what it is with the AI asking me for military access. There is no reason for them to be asking me. How's our government doing? We are still most likely to have the military faction leader become our next Archon, and YouTube is complaining about the stream as per usual. That is a no. Pretty sure you're a no still. Yeah, I'm just gonna say no to anybody that asks. There's no reason for me to say yes. I honestly don't know why they keep asking. Ah, yes, you have a little bit of ruler corruption. And it is not going down at all. Now, what... any of these that I should care to change to, potentially? Not really. I mean, really, I do lack the, they want a shrine that decreases local unrest for 20 years in Orpus. Maybe. Let's see. Do I want to do that? What's the unrest like? Yeah. There's some money. Decrease the unrest here. That gets me some more stuff as well. And it's not like I really have anything to spend my money on besides building up my military. Convert those guys. I guess I converted the ones in Oropos and not the ones over there. Tribesmen. They're sort of a middle ground between slaves and freemen. You get manpower and base tax. So apparently these tribesmen are actually giving me slightly more manpower compared to my one freeman, just because they're happy. Also, there's two of them, so they give more anyway. We'll keep those tribesmen as they are for now, but we'll eventually want to replace them. Now, as I said, right now in the early game, taxes is where most of your money is going to come from, especially for us. So I'm going to go for the property tax for the plus 5% there. That's more useful right now and will continue to be more useful until we expand. But eventually, once we expand, commerce will easily be where most of our money comes from. Macedon did proceed to go and take a little bit of territory, not nearly as much as they could have. I don't know why they didn't just try and take all of this territory. But for some reason they just said, no, we don't want all of it. We want just those two coastal cities. Neither of which even has a port. Now, I'm surprised Phrygia has not gone to war with Egypt. They normally go to war with Egypt relatively quickly in my experience. Let's go for encouraged trade. If I get some more papyrus here, that's extra research points, which could be useful. And I think I'm going to go for that. As for you, you are already on the trade policy. Nobody better I can put in that position anyway. No replacements? Nope. You have slightly lost some charisma. Why? Because you're depressed. Okay, that's annoying to say the least. You're also losing health. Although you might be gaining it now because I do have a pretty decent position. Actually, no, you're still going to be losing it. So you're going to die while in office, more than likely. I just want to go ahead and note that. Now, who do I want to put in this position? Well, there's nobody from the military faction, which is my preferred faction to place in this position. So as a result, we're just going to go for somebody from the civic faction. That should, again, help to keep the populist faction in control, or, well, out of control. And go for Blessing of Athena. I don't know why YouTube is complaining about the stream, but it is. It's YouTube, though. It always complains. And Phrygia is going to war with two tiny people somewhere. That I cannot see. There. Okay, one's down there, apparently. Oh, did Phrygia... Oh, Phrygia broke apart. Not that I can do anything. Because I was not expecting them to break apart right now. Although they didn't really fracture as much as I would have hoped for. This is kind of small, if we're being honest. It's basically just this guy. That's pretty much it. And he starts out with 0 cohorts. Great job, game. So yeah, this guy's probably going to be getting conquered by Phrygia relatively quickly. They just need to deal with their wars real quick, although one of them is going to be a bit of a pain to try and take over. Simply because you have to walk through somebody that you're not at war with, and you will not get military access. Oh, Byzantium survived. It's a little surprising, considering that would mean you had to hold the strait at Byzantium. But good job. I'm honestly surprised you managed to survive. See, there's probably still no replacements, just gotta check periodically, because you never know, there might be. And just continue to build up our stockpile of manpower and other resources. Oh, our son died. Oh, and her wife is apparently already dead too. Oh, she died in childbirth, and then I guess... Yep. She died giving birth to this child, who then proceeded to still die anyway. So, that's helpful. Let's see. So, the Heraclean Path, Lemnos, up here, this island, has seen a huge influx of visitors lately, and a reputation for being one of the sites Hercules passed through on his way to... I'm not going to try and pronounce that. So, though it is impossible to say if he truly passed through the city or not, these stories have flourished lately. This is a prime opportunity to build upon the myth, to honor the hero, and increase the potential commerce in Lemnos. I would honestly prefer the Omen power and the religious power, so we will hold a small festival. That'll make my Omen a little bit more powerful for at least a little while. And it gives me a little bit of religious power to try and get around to a sacrifice to the gods at some point. Maybe. Phrygia, how's your war going? It is still not going, because you just decided to drop your troops off in Ionia for some reason, rather than transport them all the way. What? Oh, Phrygia, you are so stupid. Okay, you dropped one group off up there. Why aren't you picking up this 16k stack and dropping them off over here? I assume it's just because you're stupid. That is the simplest explanation I can come up with. We are almost done with our current military, well, actually with all of ours. They're all roughly at the same pace right now. Religious is slightly behind, but there's really nothing I can do about that. So I could just hold off until this finishes in a couple of months, or I can say let's go and get that little bit of commerce right now. And I'm inclined to say let's get that little bit of commerce right now, because that's useful. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but it's something, and we need it anyway. So Phrygia is going to try and take this over. And presumably they'll annex it. Veterans move on. We gain a little bit of manpower. Local unrest decreases in Athens, and we gain a little bit of tax in Athens as well. Until the end of game, which is nice, because that deals with this unrest. Oh, apparently our governor is corrupt. Yes, I would... Yes, he is. Why? How is he so corrupt? I don't know. I don't have anything that's actually decreasing it, so I don't think it's going down at all. Nope, corruption is not going down, so I need to deal with that if at all possible. So, to every cloud, anti-corruption laws. Stamp out corruption, increases the cost of endorsed party. That increases monthly wages. I don't want to have to pay extra wages. I'm going to hopefully manage to avoid ever needing to endorse... Oh, damn, that increases the amount of Senate seats that... that's not really something I want. So if I enact any of these, or if I change the laws to decrease our corruption, it will give the populists 10 seats. The civic faction will lose 5, and the mercantile faction will lose 6. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, they can do that. But you only gain 10. There's 5 that is unaccounted for. You do you, game. You do you, but I want to get rid of that corruption, so we'll go for stamp out corruption. And hopefully it won't come to bite us in the ass. Because now this guy is going to be losing corruption, which will get rid of the populist conviction, which should help us out. So our martial advances have occurred. This increases military maintenance costs. However, civic also increases commerce income to somewhat make up for that. Because I don't have a navy, it should do a decent job, but it's commerce income, which is not where most of our money comes from. So 2.5 of basically nothing is basically nothing. So we should still be making money, but it might actually be going down slightly. If I pull up our economy, yeah, it's going to go down slightly. Now both of these civic are nice. And that just gives county citizenship, which just makes it so that citizenship in each of our city-states increases faster, which has bonuses, of course, for citizens and freemen. But it's still really not as useful as it would seem. Okay, you've managed to siege that, but you're not doing anything, and you're still not sieging that down because, as per usual, the AI sucks at fighting wars against AI. Oh, okay, good. My opinion of you is still not great. There we go, a little bit extra omen power. I think I'm gonna go for the... I think siege ability first. Also, check this. Because again, the game doesn't tell you when people come of age, so you gotta check this stuff yourself. Which is slightly annoying. I wish there was a way I could just have the game tell me when people come of age. Admittedly, then, once you become particularly large, it's just gonna spam you with messages, but while you're small like we are right now, I kind of want to know when people come of age. One of our soldiers has the reputation of a man blessed by the gods of war, or by the god of war himself, fighting with a frenzy unlike any other. Some of our other soldiers questioned why he has not been promoted after all his heroic deeds during war. What heroic deeds? We've never fought a battle. While others treat him as some sort of demigod. I like you, so welcome to the court, and you are immediately going to be taking this guy's job. Because, well, you're better at it than him, so obviously. Discipline or tax? We're going to go for the tax. So that allows us to reshuffle some people around. And that means our martial advances will be going even faster. Now, because our current ruler is kind of crap, yeah, he's only giving us 3. Yeah, we're not actually getting that. We're only getting +1 there, so technically he's supposed to be giving us 3, but he's not. He's only giving us 1. I'm not sure why. His finesse ability is 3 because the base is 6. He loses 2 from being a lunatic and 1 from being depressed. Last I checked, 6 minus 3 is 3. But the game seems to be taking the math here under civic power. Either your these powers are a third of what you get, which is a possibility, or the game just sucks at math. Also, Lunatic apparently gives +2 to Charisma. I don't want to know the logic behind that, but apparently it is. Rome is expanding very quickly, which means Rome is going to explode when it reaches some extent here. In fact, there are... Sorry, game. I'm in the middle of something. Just hide that real quick. Yeah, Rome already has a lot of its northern territories currently being occupied by the people they are fighting. Particularly Ganatia up here, and okay, that's being occupied by Rome. And Umbria is occupying a little bit of territory from Rome. But it's mostly Ganatia up here. So, yeah. Rome is not doing as well as they could be. In fact, they don't even have a lot of money in the bank, so that's not helping them. They have slightly more manpower than those guys, but I don't know how long that'll last for. So Rome is not doing as good as it could be. Rome just sort of sucks at playing a game that is based around Rome. So the question is, who do we send? No, you just... No, sorry. We're going to go and send the other guy. Democles here is far too important for us to just let go. The dude from the mercantile faction? Yeah, I don't care about him. He can move to Ellis. Also, you have apparently lost... Oops, not you. You apparently lost some of your military power. Why? Because of dysentery. Great. Hopefully that gets fixed. It would help if I had a much better physician. But I don't. I could switch this guy around, but I'd rather not. I kind of like the Freeman happiness. I paused the game and forgot to unpause it. Same thing that always happens when I play Paradox games. They can put a big thing in the center of my screen that says game paused, and I will still proceed to wonder why time isn't moving. Only to find out, oh yes, because I have it paused. Now, I'm supposed to have some thunderstorms here in this area. Hopefully those won't result in power going out. That would suck, but it is a possibility. Like I said, hopefully it doesn't happen. Olympics concluded. We did not win. Ellis won. I'm sure it was a fair match. We gained a little bit of popularity for our Archon, although I don't think popularity matters. Not really. Well, maybe it has an effect on his... Actually, yes, I think it does have an effect. The game just doesn't tell you, I think, what the effect is, but I think it does have an effect on their faction, or at least their faction support. Or, well, I guess more specifically, it has an effect on people's willingness to help your faction, or to do whatever it is you're trying to have your Archon do. So, pass laws, declare war, whatever. We're going to go for the Sarissa for the plus 10% heavy infantry morale. Admittedly, some of these other ones are also useful. Especially mercenaries, because we're probably going to have to rely on that at some point. Because it's not like we have tons of manpower right now. But for now, we're going to go for the Sarissa. So that what manpower we do have is better at its job. Also, because we are playing as a Hellenistic country, we do have access to the phalanx for our tactics. However, phalanx is set up so that it's really only useful if you use heavy infantry, light cavalry, light infantry, or war elephants, and particularly heavy infantry and war elephants. The only one of those 4 units I named that we have is heavy infantry. And because we have a little bit of archers mixed in, it's not as effective as it could be. As it stands right now, technically, bottleneck is the most effective for us. And Phrygia has declared war on the one country that broke away, and that country is going to lose, as per usual. Would improved happiness really have an effect? Not really. At least, not anything to really write home about. Though it does give local population growth, which could also be useful, because then these other people will grow slightly faster. Yeah, you know what? I will give you a granary so that people grow a little bit faster. And Macedon is currently integrating Argos. Sparta is not really declaring war on all their neighbors like I would hope. I don't mind Sparta being slightly powerful in this neck of the woods because it might help to keep Macedon in check. But if they're just sort of going to sit there, that's going to be a bit annoying because I kind of need Macedon to not grow. Because we're very limited in our ability to grow if Macedon becomes too powerful. Let's see, is there anything I can do? Not really. I could lower, again, commerce. Drop it down to free trade. The reality is that that probably is still better, like I said previously. The little bit of income I lose on a per, or on overall, that minus 15% doesn't mean a whole lot. Right now, realistically speaking, the extra trade route in Athens and our islands up here would probably make up for that 15%. Although I could go with transaction taxes, which gives me a bonus 15% and increases the number of slaves needed for a surplus from 13 to 15 for the precious metal, though it changes. Yeah, iron will go from 15 to 17, salt will go 15 to 17, and fish will go 15 to 17. Why do you only need 13? I'm pretty sure it's 15 by default. So why is that Athens only needs 13? I honestly don't know. That is interesting that Athens only requires 13. Ah, because it's farmland. I did not realize that had an effect. Yeah, so by default, basically everything just goes up by 2. You know what? That probably isn't too big of a deal. Let's go and kick that up to transaction taxes. We want the extra money. And an extra 2 slaves is not that big of a deal, all things considered. Okay, people in Lemnos are having problems, complaining about the current governor. They want me to replace him. They will become upset for 2 years. And he gains a bunch of corruption. Wonderful, that's exactly what I'm looking for, is a very corrupt governor. Is that actually affecting the populist faction? I assume no, because he's not the Archon, so his corruption doesn't really matter beyond, I guess. Well, I guess it would have an effect, potentially. I probably lose money here as a result of corruption. Or maybe not. Although unrest here is already pretty high. We'll send a representative to ensure rules are being followed. He's pretty loyal. We can make do with him being upset with us for a little bit. Although his loyalty is actually going down ever so slowly. Phrygia is winning. No surprise there. Phrygia says we're winning so much, let's go ahead and recruit more troops. Seleucids have not broken up into a million different pieces. Oh, Rome is... Okay, Rome is managing to retake the territory that was being occupied, but apparently these guys managed to make their way all the way down the western coast of Italy. Maybe they used ships. It's possible they just dropped off an army down here. Either way. Though if I was them, I would have probably just gone and tried and siege Rome. That should be worth quite a bit of manpower and might have allowed you to win. Although I guess Rome would have been able to react relatively quickly. Rome will probably win this war, but it's going to cost them a lot more manpower than it should have. Oh yeah. They're down to under 2,000 manpower. These guys have 13,000 still at their disposal. At this point, Rome is not doing so hot, actually. They might actually not win that war. I don't have that money, I'm afraid. Oh, that reminds me. I meant to go and do a sacrifice to the gods. Let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, I don't have 98 money just lying around. I don't feel like going into debt. However, ooh. Plus 15% tax and -2 local unrest in Athens until end of game. That might be worth going into temporary debt. You know what? Screw it. We'll go into debt temporarily. It's not going to affect us too much. We're not planning to do anything that should have an effect on. And somebody will probably send us a gift. So Populous faction gains a little bit of extra influence, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Probably. Please somebody actually send us a gift. I'm kind of relying on the whole being sent a gift thing. Some sort of pity donation will be something that I will gladly receive. I'll put somebody there who's a little bit better. A gift from the gods. Wonderful. We gain 24. The strength of spirit belonging to the Athenian people knows no bounds. Seeing that Athens was faced with near bankruptcy, they rallied to the cause and collected offerings to tide us over. I mean, it didn't really tide us over. We're still technically in debt, but you know what? It helped. A friend in need. Okay. Our current leader, in a last desperate attempt to save Athens from bankruptcy, has appealed to certain members of the government for financial aid. These requests were backed up by a cohort of particularly burly soldiers. Oh dear. So, okay, we lose a little bit of monthly loyalty for 2 years. We'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? It almost takes us out of debt. It's just a couple of more months, game. Don't give me any bad events. Well, particularly bad events. Okay, I just need 2 months. 2 months and we're out of debt. Or somebody to send me a gift. Come on, Phrygia. You know you love me. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. The person I was talking to just would not shut up. Okay, let's go for capital trade route, yes. How much do I need for this? 18, okay. Is that the number of pops there? I think it is. Renovations. Where? Oh. I'm supposed to give a crap about you? Their family gains some prestige. Oh, okay, it's for our own family, apparently. I'm pretty sure family prestige doesn't really have an effect for us. Like, it increases their own personal wealth and whatnot, but that has no real effect on us as a nation. So, that doesn't really seem useful, so we're just gonna say piss off. We're not gonna let you use government funds to renovate your mansion or whatever. I would not mind getting some iron, although I cannot import it from anybody that I would be able to keep it. We will eventually end up with just tons of olives, I want to note. This region has a lot of olives. So, importing olives does not seem to be particularly useful. I might go for hemp for the slave output. That's a little bit extra money. Although, even more papyrus is not a terrible idea, admittedly. Though cloth is also useful. Especially if I can get the surplus in the capital for the oratory tech bonus. Yeah, we're going to go for some cloth. We'll import it from Phrygia. That's fine for now. We do need to continue to ensure that Phrygia is trying to improve their relations with me, yeah. I'm going to drop an insult on Phrygia, because that does decrease the Athenian opinion of Phrygia, which is what matters if they want to integrate me. I do have somebody to replace you with. Nobody to replace you with yet, and who the hell are you and why do you want to walk to me? You are way the hell over there. Why do you need military access through me? You're not even at war with anybody that... Oh my god, game, you're so stupid sometimes. Also, apparently, Egypt actually has feudatories over here. I did not realize that. I mean, I've seen it later in the game in the past, but I always just assumed Egypt came over here, beat the crap out of somebody while I wasn't paying attention, and made them a feudatory. I think they actually do start the game with Andros as a feudatory. Never realized that before. So we have gained further martial advances, which increases our maintenance costs. Luckily, Civic is not too far behind. And we're getting a decent amount of money from Civic. However, we will not be able to snag advanced wall construction or Pythagorean mathematics. So that'll help to cover the costs. National slave output, that could be useful, but I'm going to prioritize military related stuff, so I'm thinking sapping, followed by martial science, and then we'll do rights of man. I'm thinking that's the order we're going to do this in. And okay, because you're old, you just became a lot worse. No, you're just a lunatic. Never mind, it's not because you're old. Don't know if that's necessarily better. Now I need somebody else. I could put somebody from your family in charge, but no, we're going to go with somebody who's a little bit worse, is still fairly loyal, and is also from a scorned family. Also, that just made you a scorned family, because of course it did. You're just going to have to get over it. There, you can take that position now, because you're slightly better than the other guy, and you're still part of the military faction, though you're 63, so you may not be alive for much longer, though your health is at 98. So, you might actually still be alive, potentially. We'll see. You are really good at zeal, so we're going to go with the Omen power for you. And of course, admittedly, you should pay attention to this. I don't pay as much attention to this scorned family stuff as I probably should. Mostly because I haven't had it really have any negative impact. Are you from one of the scorned families? You are. I just made some other random person who I don't think was in this position a scorned family, and apparently, oh no, I read that wrong. They're very similar names. There's just a slight difference in them, starting with the third letter. Yep, I read that wrong. Oh well. I'm still surprised Phrygia has not gone to war with Egypt. That's normally like their very first war in my experience. And Rome is apparently turning it around. The war score is starting to go back in their favor. It's only negative 9% now. But they're still lacking the manpower, so we'll see. I'm honestly thinking Rome is probably going to be losing territory in this war that they're in. No, I need to keep Democles, so send the other dude. I don't really care about him. Luckily, our current ruler has a lot of finesse, so that's helping us out a little. Oh, what is this? Oh, really, game? Okay, so there have been sightings of what some call Menads in Imbros. A place that is not under our control, so I don't know why we're being informed about this. Okay, but it does something in Athens, apparently. Oh, no, it just does... Where the hell is Imbros? Because we don't own any of that. How do you spell it? Oh, no, we do. Really? Oh, okay, that is Imbros. I did not realize. I thought that was an L, not an I. There's too much stuff on this island, and it's too small. I swear I thought that was an L. Okay, so we do actually own Imbros. Never mind. Let's see. Others say they are nothing more than bandits and madmen. We should be careful about attacking these men and women, as we could make ourselves unpopular among the god and his other followers. However, leaving them to continue their ravaging through our countryside will not be popular among our people. Soldiers will put these guys down. We lose some military and religious power. Build a shrine, increase his religious power. We lose money. However, we also gain for 10 years plus 5% to omen power and a decrease to call omen cost. And for 3 years, the local unrest in that city-state is a bit higher. I think we'll survive, and I kind of want the extra religious power if I can, so I can do another sacrifice to the gods and get this up to max tier. And we are now stressed, which is decreasing our finesse. Thank you, game. The one thing that I'm really needing to rely on right now is lots and lots of finesse. And of course, you decide, yeah, you know that whole finesse thing that you want? Yeah, you're not allowed to have that. If I fabricate a claim on you, that does decrease your opinion of me, doesn't it? So I will place a claim on you for Hellas. Well, that decreases your opinion of me. It does apparently not decrease my opinion of you, however. But you do apparently have a casus belli on me. Interesting. I assume it's because I insulted you. Olympics concluded. Hellas yet again wins. I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm sure it was a fair match. Let's take a quick look at Rome. So Carthage is doing okay. Rome is losing those wars again. They went from negative 9% war score to negative 13%. And Ireland could be colonized if you are playing as Lutia, which might actually be interesting to play as Lutia and colonize Ireland. And then expand from there. The AI is actually being relatively peaceful, a little more so than I've seen it when the game first came out. At least it feels like it. Phrygia is not going to big wars with the Seleucids or Egypt or Macedon like they've done when the game first came out. At least in my experience, that's what they were doing. But they're not doing that anymore. Oh, you're not as... Okay, but I don't have anybody who's better than you still. So you're not as good at the job as you were when I originally put you in that position, but there's still nobody better than you either. Oh, we are with Thebes. Well, I'm not planning to get involved, but let's go ahead and add ourselves a little bit extra military. Yeah, Phrygia, if you expect me to fight your war for you, you're going to be sadly mistaken. You're going to have to send an army over here yourself, because I ain't doing it. And Boeotia is at war with Sparta and Co. I want to go and gain popularity for my guy. How long is he gonna... He's not gonna be in the position for very long. And sadly, we're gonna end up with a populist dude, which is kind of annoying. Why? Why are so many people voting for him? You're not even the most powerful faction. That's the mercantile faction, followed by the military faction. Did you just manage to snag a bunch of the religious and civic vote? I assume so. So you got 20 from you. Really, mercantile faction? Really? You're gonna vote for the populist dude? And same with the military. Why are there people in the military faction voting for the military dude? I kind of get the feeling it's partly because the populist faction... Oh, no. So the populist faction supports their guy fully because he's the faction leader. Okay. Family prestige does indeed have an effect. Interesting. I did not realize that. Now, who's currently the second guy for the position? You. You need to gain more popularity, my friend. Is there anything I can do to potentially help you? I could lose a bunch of stability. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Is there anything else I can do to potentially improve your... No. Okay. Can I sabotage you? I mean, I can, and maybe the popularity will do it. Like, just. So let's get this event out of the way. Who's who? Why should I care about either of you? Side with Nicanor, and I'm going to smear your reputation, and maybe that'll help to swing things out of your favor. Yes, wonderful, there we go. It's a game of politics when you play as a Republican Imperator. You are just barely in the lead, though. The religious faction is right on your tail. There we go. Yeah, Phrygia finally decided to send an army down because they realized I wasn't going to do their dirty work for them. And we almost have enough for another invention. Oh, no. Get out of my territory. Where are you going? Oh yeah, I'm definitely not going to want to send you into the fight because I need to replace you with somebody who I don't mind potentially taking the throne. Although, damn, you are original thinker though. So you do gain siege ability, though I don't plan to siege anything, so it's not that big of a deal. Are you a part of a scorned family? You are. I'm gonna swap and put you in charge. And let's get that decreased cost for military traditions. It's still a ways out, though. You are still likely to take over. Now, I should note, while I prefer for this guy to take over just because he's not populist, I don't really care too much which faction takes over. This guy's not the greatest because he lacks the finesse that I would love. But he's still better than the populist guy. Who did you guys have running for religious faction? This guy. I wouldn't mind the religious faction dude taking over. In fact, we're gonna make some slight changes, okay? We're gonna try and get the religious faction dude in charge. Because, well, he's better. He has 7 finesse, which I need more finesse so that I can get my techs out of the way. The more techs I can get out of the way before we declare independence, the better position we will be in when we do gain our independence. And 7 is a lot better than 3. You're both crap at military, which is kind of annoying, but I can live with crap military. So, we have high charisma, so let's talk this guy out of his rash action of attempted bribery. Ooh, wait. That gains us military power and makes us owe the military faction a favor, but I've never seen a favor actually called in At least never via an event. If it's something that's done in the background, well, that's annoying to say the least. But I will gladly take the free military powers. So, you do you. Pause. I'm going to smear your reputation. No hard feelings, I just want the religious faction dude to take the throne. Oh, is that not actually enough? There we go. It just... I guess it updates at the end of the month. Now, you guys are planning to put Crates here in charge. He's not bad, but I want to make sure that he doesn't just win at the last second. So, Crates, we're just sort of tossing out our oratory power right now, but I'm going to smear your reputation slightly. I just want to make sure you don't get control. Okay, no hard feelings. There we go. That widens the gap between us and second place, which is some other dude from the mercantile faction. This guy. He is absolute garbage, so I do not want him taking over. But we'll leave things as it stands at 32, 23, 23, 22. Because that's good enough for us. And it gets us another person who's good, or has a lot of finesse, which is what we need. Is Aetolia really going to try and take over Boeotia? Also, Messania is conquering Sparta. Sparta sucks. Okay? I'm just going to get that out of the way right now. Sparta sucks at fighting wars in this game. How did Thrace take this over? And good job, Thrace. They managed to take over stuff literally right next to... okay, one second. Phrygia. So what's happening? Fleeing from where? Oh god, this is... Okay, pull up our diplomacy. Sort by name. Scroll down to the G's. Okay, it's a war down here on Crete. So fleeing the dreadful war with some guys down on Crete, a number of important dignitaries have managed to escape to our lands hoping to find refuge. Our advisors recommend against giving them asylum due to the fragile political circumstances in our region, and indeed, much favor may be gained with Gortnia if we were to finish their job for them. Now, here's the thing. I have literally no reason to give a crap about these guys. If they try to declare war on me, they gotta fight Phrygia. And by the time they'll be able to go to war with me, specifically, and only me, they'll probably have forgotten about this ages ago. So, we will welcome these guys, because one of them is really good at finesse. And I wish I could mark people as characters of interest, like you can in Crusader Kings, so that they would be listed over here on the outliner, so that I could easily find this guy. How old is he? He's 52. Okay, he's a little on the older side. Kind of would prefer it if he was a little bit younger, because maybe I'd actually be able to get him into a position of power. But that 10 finesse is nice and helpful. Welcome aboard. Let's move over here. We got people to put in jobs now. Well, okay, maybe I gotta wait a month for the game to tick over and actually let me put these people in these jobs. Yeah, probably. I would not be surprised. So let's give the game a month to tick over and maybe let us put those people in jobs. New ruler. You actually gained a little bit of finesse. You gained intelligence in the meantime. That's nice. It's a little bit more finesse. I need a researcher, though, for this job. you're gonna replace him. You're gonna replace him. You're all crap. Are any of you from a scorned family? Yeah, you're actually from a scorned family. But there we go, that's a little bit extra. Technically we owe the military faction a favor, but they'll never call it in because I've literally never seen it happen. Again, at least not via an event. Maybe they do call it in. Sparta wants military access. Who are you fighting that you need military access to? Oh, Boeotia. Well, that's... military access through me is not going to help you get to Boeotia, so... how about no? And... Phrygia has now taken over Thrace. Or, excuse me, Thebes. Not Thrace. Thrace is up there. Thebes is down here. I always get the two confused. Probably because they both sort of start with a th. And they're very similar colors. They're both greens. Okay, so for whatever reason, the game's not going to let me put those guys in positions. That 10 finesse dude is there, but I can't do anything with him. Oh, probably because I got to give you citizenship. Yes, that would explain so much. Game, you should also... there should be a toggle up here for non-citizens. Maybe it's just me, but that seems like something that would make sense as an option. Because I got no idea where those guys are that are not citizens. I only know you. So you want to attain governorship. You're not going to get that. I just want you to know. But I will give you citizenship, so I can give you a position. So you will become my agoranos. Make the freedmen's happier. You will move down and take the position of physician. A gift horse. We have long been warned to be suspicious of gifts, especially in the current political climate. However, an interesting proposition has been made by Demochares Demosthenes, I guess, leader of the mercantile faction. We should be wary of what they might want in return. This might be better left alone. Wow, lose 40 loyalty, and he loses some prominence because I don't accept his horse. Also, apparently he's giving us a horse, but I guess we proceed to sell the horse for money. Or he's giving us money in a horse-shaped chest. Because, I don't know, Trojan War or something. I'm not going to be accepting this, I'm afraid, although I do like the money. You know what, you're part of the mercantile faction. I'm good with the mercantile faction. I'll take the extra money. Screw it. Build a training camp. Get the rights of man for the additional tax or slave output or whatever it was. It helps us. Whatever it was. Now I just need Phrygia to decide to break apart. Is there anything I can do to potentially support that? Currently only 3% of the population is in disloyal provinces and subjects. Well, technically I'm disloyal. I just want to note that. Also, our opinion is getting a little high again, so drop an insult on them. Yeah, Sparta's gonna lose. I don't have anything that I can do there. Oh, we're so close to getting sacrificed to the gods, but I really want to get this. So, research points. Got to keep our omens going. Thanks for the money, Thrace. Now that Thebes is gone, it's easy to know who sends me money. Oh yes, I suppose I can go through here, just try and find the other dude who, were they particularly great at anything? I don't think they were, actually. I think it was just that one dude who was really good. Also, playing this with at 1080p is actually slightly annoying, because the UI takes up so much more space. So, scorned family, okay, I don't really care. Game, could you... I swear there needs to be an option to, like, only show... Okay. Families of one person are probably them. Or maybe not. Grant you citizenship, grant you citizenship. Any positions you guys are willing to take and are particularly good at? Not really. Gain some extra manpower. Yeah, Phrygia has a lot of manpower. So Phrygia is going to be a pain to deal with. And there's really not a whole lot I can do about it. You are a scorned family. The Nicolids are fine right now. Do I want to put you back in chart? Nah, not really. You're gonna stay out of power there. Okay, yeah. Those guys, yeah, those other guys that I just gave citizenship to are just crap at everything. Oh yeah, they are. They're really not good. Oh well. Let's see, so is there anything else here that I want to go for? None of these that really jump out. I guess wrong culture happiness, probably, maybe. How much of a problem is wrong culture? I want to assume not very. Yeah, we don't have a wrong culture issue, so that's not useful. Maybe save up for once until Marshall advances. And now we lose all our papyrus that we were importing. So, you know that whole maybe save our civic power? Never mind. We're needing to go ahead and get it from somewhere else. So, I could get wood. Just not really super useful. Anything to make citizens better. Citizen happiness, precious metal. Surplus and capital is not really what I need, though. I think we'll just go for cloth from Phrygia. For that. And I guess maybe slave output. Or slave happiness. Which is more useful, slave output or slave happiness? I want to assume output is generally more useful. They're both 10%, but slave output just seems like it's more useful. And I'll get cloth from you. So that's just basically all the civic power that I was saying. Maybe we should just save it. So now Egypt, or Phrygia, has finally decided, hey, we should go to war with Egypt. For, what is it, 7 cities? Okay, I mean, you own like half of it already. Yeah, Phrygia owns about half, Egypt owns like the other half. Thrace, I'm gonna be honest with you, I would probably station more troops here and contemplate declaring war on Phrygia once you have reason to believe that most of their troops are over here, which most of the troops are already over here. So, you know, maybe right now would be a good opportunity for you to declare war on Phrygia and try and take as much of their stuff as you could. You are the general of the, well, the first Stratos, which is our only Stratos. Support for the populist faction, no thanks. Some scandal, I don't really care too much. He was having an affair. Let's just have him flogged, screw it. I don't care enough to really get too involved. I could go and take care of that, but no reason to. Our army got better. Now here's the thing. Pretty much no matter what we choose, we're going to get stuff that has to do with light infantry, or excuse me, light cavalry. We're not using any of that, so that's not really useful. But this gets us siegecraft, which makes our sieges better, which is definitely useful. However, this is also potentially useful, going down the left route. Well, at least a little bit, especially for the arms for hire. Although, deep coffers is also useful. The other ones, not as much, honestly. But arms for hire is potentially useful. But either way, we're getting pretty much useless stuff right now. Yeah, you know, we're gonna go for this and try to get arms for hire next. And we're gonna add 2 more troops to you. And I think we'll just say screw it and build roads between Athens and Oropus. Start trying to get our road network started a little early. Yes to the discipline. It's always useful. But civic advances needs to be greater than 6. We're at 2, going on 3. Ooh. Okay, what's happened here? We have rumors that one of the fabled Silver Shields, the backbone of Alexander's army, has been seen traveling through Athene. They have not often been seen after they betrayed Eumenes by handing him over to Antigonus as the unit was split up and dismissed by the general. They are renowned for their fighting spirit, experience, and bravery. So he's a really good general. Now, at least in theory. The reality is, he's 65. He'll be long dead by the time I would potentially actually get a use out of him. And his other stats are not really that useful, so we have no need, or we do not need any of these fossils in Athens. So we're just gonna kick him out and send him over to Thrace. Maybe Thrace can get use out of him, I don't know. I certainly can't. So civic advances are almost done, up to level 3. But we need level 6 to build roads. But we got a bit of a stronger army now, at least. I don't know why the game didn't tell me it needed to be civic level of at least 6, or greater than 6, or whatever it is. Greater than 6. Now, game, when you say greater than 6, do you mean 7 or more, or do you mean 6 or more? Because this is a paradox game, and sometimes the UI can be a bit funky. And say greater than X, but technically equal to X works as well. It happens sometimes. It's not super common, but it does happen. Let's do our final sacrifice to the gods for some extra money and research. I kind of do want to go ahead and just level up all our tribesmen to freemen. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Promote all the tribesmen to freemen. I fully expect that to go and bite me in the ass in the future. But for now, it's extra manpower, even more than what we were getting before, though we do lose out on a little bit of money. Not enough to make any real difference, though. Here we go, civic advancement, some extra money. National commerce income, although right to be heard sounds a little bit more useful, because national citizen output means more research points, which means faster research, which means higher tech level, which helps us out a lot. 'Cause, yeah, see, the AI isn't great when it comes to the whole research thing, although you are looking towards a rebellion, potentially. Although I would much prefer a civil war. I'm not allowed to see this stuff, which is slightly annoying. I'm not allowed to see what's going on with your army, so... This guy, how loyal is he? 60%. Okay, he's still pretty good. 60%, still pretty good. Oh, are those your two armies? Looks like it. Oh no, you got one here. 60%, still pretty good. Okay. Can I inspire disloyalty? I can. Question is, how many troops are loyal to you? I have no way of seeing that because the game doesn't give me that information. So that's commanded cohorts. But I'm pretty sure that's not the information I'm looking for. No, I'm looking for loyal cohorts. So you are 0.05 and you are 0.18. So you are the most likely to potentially be willing to lead a civil war. Let's pay up the influence. Or the oratory power. We're not really using it anyway. This will make you slightly more willing to lead a revolt. Oh. No, game, no. Okay, these guys are calling in a favor. Thank you. Thank you very much for now calling in a favor. Okay, what is it? Decreases, so localized tax relief in Oropos. Honestly, I don't think Oropos is bringing in a whole lot anyway from that. No, it really isn't. So, that's a little long. Send a plot. You know, you like me, although that doesn't get rid of the favor. Let's get rid of the favor. Oropos for 5 years, rather, excuse me, not 6. You're going to be bringing in a little bit less money, but it's not that big of a deal. You're not bringing in much anyway. So this guy is going to slowly become a little bit less loyal. Let's go for right to be heard for the additional research that we will gain from that. Dropping insults on Phrygia. neither of you are doing anything particularly important. Which one would I love to get rid of? I'll be honest, the older guy. Why does that you not have a commander? Interesting. But you don't have enough people to actually take that fort. I don't know why you're having... I guess having them sitting on it. No, you don't own anything that's around it either anyway. So I don't know why. This army should be heading over here, and this guy should be trying to siege up these little undefended territories. But you do you, game. As per usual. You do you. Oh, and Sparta is pretty much dead. Yeah. Messania has taken over pretty much all of Sparta. They are still technically a local power because you need 25 cities to stop being a local power. Olympics concluded, and Patrai actually won. Ellis didn't win for once. It's a surprise. Since we're in here, just a quick look. That guy is slightly better at the job, so he's going to get the job. That's the way this works. Ooh, you're not particularly great at your job. Although, no, I have you there because you increase the military faction's power, which is kind of what I want, to be honest. So, never mind. You get to stay in your job. You're not great at it, but you're better than the alternative, which is potentially supporting the populist faction. Although, see, I say that, but I would be fine with basically anybody else. But I still prefer the military faction, so now screw it. We'll keep the military faction. Oh, big battle, and Phrygia's gonna lose. Egypt is using the phalanx, interestingly enough. Ah, they do have some light infantry. That's probably why they're using it. They figure that it makes up for it still. This army, though, might still win, because you're going to be damaged when it comes to morale. This army's not, and they're bigger than you. Although, you got your morale back very quickly, so maybe not. And you're getting your manpower back, and this guy is gaining attrition. Yeah, let's see how that all works out. You guys need to send somebody else over here to take this. This guy's not going to take it. He has 5 cohorts. Why would you even send only 5 cohorts to take something? At least send 6. You always need to send 1 more than what you actually need, because attrition is going to result in you not having enough if you try to take, or if you try to send exactly what you need. So, each fort level requires at least 5,000 troops, or an additional 5,000 troops in the previous level. So this is a level 1 fort, so you need at least 5,000 troops. This means you need to send at least 6,000. That's just the way the math works out. Anything less than 6,000 and you're gonna not have enough troops to siege it down. So if this was level 2 fort, you need to send at least 11,000, preferably 12. At least, I say preferably 12. Ooh. Tech speed for national commerce income. I'm thinking national commerce income. I kind of need the extra money. Ooh. And another battle. And is Phrygia prepared? Phrygia is using deception this time, which does not have any bonuses against the phalanx. The phalanx has no bonuses against it either. So who's going to win? Phrygia has a little bit more discipline, because they have the Blessing of Ares going for them right now. Oh, okay, that guy just died. Thank you very much, game, for that. But Egypt seems to have the morale. I'd rather just take the money, I think. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take the money game. Although, wait, ooh. But that bottom one is a... Yeah, you know what, screw it, we're gonna go, thanks to Hermes is in order. So, Athens has seen a huge influx of traders and travelers from far and wide recently. One of our advisors jokingly suggests that we must have been blessed by Hermes himself. It might have been a joke, but paying our dues to the god might be a good idea nonetheless. It could only be a boost in long-term business, right? So, the province itself gains plus 20% tax income, so same as the first option, but as a whole, Athens gains plus 5% national tax and omen duration. Omen duration is not something to complain about, because then this lasts longer and I don't have to pay for it as soon. Who won? Egypt. I'm not surprised. Oh, but another army's coming in. They're gonna win, because the small Egyptian army is now there, and they're contemplating trying to escape and failing. But Egypt, no, damn it, didn't mean to do that. Egypt has sent reinforcements in, so... Ooh, and Egypt countered the Phrygian battle tactic. Oh, damn, that dude died. Our really good martial researcher died. That sucks. Oh, even more Egyptian troops coming in. Yeah. Yeah, this war is not going to be going in Phrygia's favor. It generally doesn't, in my experience. Phrygia sucks at fighting wars with Egypt. I don't know why. They just do. They have 15,000 troops sitting up here in Megara that they should probably try and send down to Egypt. That's an extra 15,000 troops that you're not currently utilizing. This is also a good opportunity, it seems, for Thrace to potentially hop in and go to war, because Phrygia has no manpower and is about to suffer a rebellion. Now, a Phrygian rebellion is different than a civil war. A civil war would result in a splintering. A rebellion's just going to result in a nation popping up, calling themselves the Phrygian Revolt, and then basically nothing really happens, because Phrygia will probably win that, even though they shouldn't. Or I think I understand that correctly. Maybe I'm getting it reversed. I don't know. Actually, I might be, yes. I think I am. I kind of want to be on the rebellion side, to be honest, because Phrygia's not really doing so hot. So, maybe drop another insult? Yeah, drop another insult. And I think we're going to drop another one. Maybe. No. No, I don't think we will, maybe. Maybe not. We'll hold off on this one. We'll just sort of watch and see what happens. So there's Phrygia breaking apart. Oh god, we have two Phrygias. We have yellow Phrygia and green Phrygia. Actually, I probably should have wanted to be in this. No, so the revolts have basically no real manpower. Or no real troops. Granted, they do have manpower that Phrygia lacks. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll sort of stay out of this one, and depending on how Phrygia goes, we'll get involved. No, because I can't get involved until both wars are over. Well, if the revolt wins, at least I'll remember what happens with revolts rather than civil wars. Hopefully. And we'll be in a better position to take advantage of it later. Some random number I don't know. This is hideous. Some of these events you've probably seen a bunch of times if you watch other people, so I'm not really reading every single event, particularly the smaller ones, though bigger events I'm willing to read. Let's get some wood brought in. Maybe not importing it from Phrygia because, they may not have wood for very long. And I don't really need to pay twice for the same damn thing. But get some more grain, potentially. Maybe not grain, no. Yeah, no, let's get grain. Thrace, no, we don't need it. And some dude died. As far as I'm concerned, it's some dude. I don't really know why I should care about him. Now, again, these rebels have no manpower. So, or no real troops, so it's going to take them a little while to actually be in a position, and they lack the money. And I can't send gifts, because we're in a war, technically speaking. And Aeolia did side with Phrygia. Big yellow Phrygia, not small green Phrygia, so they will be helping. Oh, Ionia also sided with them, yeah. I don't think you guys are going to be particularly successful because most of you are not going to have the time to get the troops you need. And you lack the money to hire the mercenaries that might actually enable you to win. More blessings of Athena. Now, if somebody else hops in and declares war on Phrygia, they might actually be good. Egypt, how you doing? Egypt, did you win that, or I think you won that, yeah. Yeah, Egypt, you need to win this. Oh, and that's really going to be hurting Phrygia itself, but yeah, these other vassals that still sided with Phrygia are not helping this rebellion succeed. So I'm not shocked at all. But I am. Where's that dude that I'm supporting? There, I don't know where the hell he is. Is that you? No, it's not you. Is he? Maybe he's dead. That is a very real possibility that he might have died. Yeah, I think he might have died. That kind of sucks, actually. That's mercenaries. Yeah, there's some guy somewhere that I was trying to inspire disloyalty in, but I don't see him. And I think all of Phrygia's troops are actually mercenaries now. $16K. Yeah, I think all of Phrygia's troops might actually be mercenaries. Who you can't inspire disloyalty in. The war is very much in Phrygia's favor right now, annoyingly enough. We can't really do anything about that. Not going quite as well as I'd hoped. But I don't think I'd be able to help, for the simple fact that I don't have a navy to be able to transport my troops across. Partly because it's so damn expensive to build a navy. Like, holy crap. Ships, their maintenance cost is not actually terrible, but it really does seem to add up compared to your army. I don't know why. It just seems so much more expensive. But I do need to build a navy. Oh, who's supposed to be taking over after you? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That guy's not taking over. I don't know if that's actually enough. No, not quite enough. Okay, I need to boost somebody. Who do I want to boost? Not you. You're not great. Oh, I need to find the military faction dude who's being supported. So... go to characters. What was his family name? Nickel Kid. Or however it's pronounced. So you're 62. Maybe. But there's no way for me to really boost your popularity. Because, yeah, I haven't really done anything that would enable you to gain popularity. Though you are actually gaining it. No, actually you're losing it because you apparently really like gambling and a bunch of other stuff. Great. So I might just have to suffice with you. Oh, I mean, you're not terrible. You're not terrible. Anything I can do to help you gain popularity. You are gaining some. Oh, I can try to get him some treatment. Which might not be a terrible thing, because he's apparently suffering a pretty bad infection. Oh, well, he's suffering a bunch of diseases. This is the one I would want to deal with, game, because it decreases his health. But yeah, okay. We're just gonna have to find a way to... Oh, I can smear... Oh. Well, you're already at 0, so I can't really smear you below 0. You can't have negative popularity. No matter how much I wish that was the case. So that dude died. Let's go put Civic Faction guy in charge there. Research points. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for the research points. You really suck at this job now. Ooh, research. Yeah, go for the research points, and we'll try to go for research speed or tech speed next. I'm willing to lose a little bit of manpower for that. Sure. We'll send them a helping hand. And you need a governor, or excuse me, a general, an admiral, technically speaking. I will put this guy in charge, sure. There we go. Next Archon is likely to be from the Civic Faction. They are gaining seats quite quickly, in fact. Mostly because they're double dipping on the points. From this guy being the faction leader and this guy, and the same person also being the chief magistrate. Which is probably a bad idea, all things considered. But yeah, so that's 16 seats for them that's growing. And they always vote for their faction leader to take control. Oh yeah, Egypt's gonna win this quite handedly. But the revolt is not going to succeed. Actually, no, it might. It does actually have troops now. Well, at least some of them do. If they can just sort of group their troops up and deal a decisive blow to these other guys, they might be able to make it. The representative of the military faction, Nicanor Hejemtchid, or however the hell that's pronounced, has taken it upon himself to call in a favor. It would cause some embarrassment if we were to decline the request. Sure. For 40 years, the military faction will gain a free plus 0.5% to their faction. Does that really matter? No, but it might help to take more seats off of the populist faction even faster, if it's divvied up between the civic and military factions, both of whom I don't mind. I mean, really, pretty much anybody's better than the populist faction, so any way to weaken them is welcome to me. Put you in charge there, make you better. Phrygia still hasn't advanced any of their techs, apparently. I'm gonna drop an insult on Phrygia. You know, Phrygia being conquered by Egypt in the south, along with a vassal that's down there in the south, or, well, rebelling vassal, rather. So, again, the war is very much in the favor of Phrygia. As it stands. But that might change. We'll see. You got 17k troops right here. If you can all of these armies get together and beat the crap out of this Aeolia army, you might actually be able to make it. Although, you also got a bit of a problem over here. Phrygia and some other vassals retaking stuff. But yeah, if you can just deal a decisive blow to some of these loyalist armies, you might actually make it. Ah, but the loyalists are apparently better at military. Quite handily, in fact, really. They have discipline that you lack. They are apparently better at randomly selecting the... well, maybe not randomly selecting, but selecting the right tactic to use. Yeah, it looks like the rebellion will fail, only because of just sheer incompetence, more than anything else, I think. And the fact that the game sort of gives the loyalists an advantage, because the rebelling states don't get any free troops. To at least help make a bit of a difference. Like, at least give them something, not just 1,000 manpower, or 1,000, basically just one unit. What is that going to do? Siege a couple of territories and then die in a battle? Because that's generally how that goes. 2 more ships. We'll slowly build up our navy so that we are in a position when Phrygia is weakened. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to get the tech speed if I get the civic investment. And tech speed is more useful because it's across the board. You are not that important, so we're gonna send the old dude, not the young kid. Ooh. Oh, apparently Patrai eventually took over Olympia. Maybe that's why they won last time. They might have taken over Olympia and they're cheating. I don't think I've ever won without owning Olympia. Maybe once. I don't know how the game decides who wins. I'd have to look at the event file for that, and I don't really care enough to do that if I'm being completely honest with you. Oh, trade route disappeared. We're no longer getting our grain. And I currently lack the civic power necessary to get a new trade route. Now I have it. Why did it stop? I don't know. I think they just decided either they lost their surplus or something happened. Oh, war with Egypt is over. Phrygia won ish. Those guys did manage to. Well, some of them managed to gain their independence. Although, I kind of get the feeling Egypt might have forced them to end those wars. But now there's some people that already exist over here. So Cappadocia, with 20 cohorts and 33,000 manpower up to a maximum of 60. I'd be willing to drop you some money so you can recruit some more troops. So that maybe you will be able to support me when I try to gain my independence from Phrygia. I was about to say from Cappadocia, which is not true. I'm not trying to gain my independence from Cappadocia. He wants to build a granary in Lemnos. Sure. You can build a granary in Lemnos. And by build, I mean it just poofs into existence because apparently he was already building it. He just wanted me to pay him for it or something. And Patri wins again, and we gain some popularity because, hey, at least we sent somebody. That's all that matters. Oh. No, I'm still apparently trying to do this. I don't know where this character is. I have no way of checking. I'm not, and despite being a feudatory, I can no longer see Phrygia's armies because we are no longer in a war. But presumably that guy still exists, since I'm still paying for it apparently. We'll see if he eventually provokes a civil war. In the meantime, some people are dropping me money.